everybody, what's going on? Mayuri here, and welcome to my Prism versus Prison match. This is a match that took place at a locals at Ronin that I played. So, with permission from my opponent, I got the chance to record the match. This match took place in real time, so we're gonna go over it and take a bit of look at what I did right, what I did wrong. It's kind of like commentary stuff, you know. So to start things off, nothing really interesting so far. It's just Prism player going first. He gets the Galactus, I think that's the name of the card, and then he gets to set it and then soul charge 3. No triggers go into the soul here, so I was kind of worried. However, it's a good thing that the Forbidal as well as one of the guard restrict girls went away that early, so that's always good. I had to discard a trigger here, and if I recall correctly, I had a bunch of triggers already in my hand at the start, so not necessarily like what I want to go for. So it's just gonna be a simple swing. He checks the Aldo here defensively, which does give me a bit more leeway in the later stage of the game. It does make the kill turn a little more survivable, but the significance of what that would mean would take place in this turn. So what happens here is when he writes up the grade 2, he can take one card from my hand here. So for this matchup in particular, I've been constantly trying to give him Petronil as my priority pick to give him to Prison, because when Petronil comes out, I have the option to like possibly soul charge 2, so that when he takes away my soul, I can then still have a way of generating soul to perform my skills. And as you can see here, because of the lack of CB from over trigger check, then the LIFO does not proc, so that helps me a little bit here. Doesn't get another unit on the board, unable to use that counterblast, and I basically damage denied him, got rid. So that's a lot of extra value actually. So here I'll use the right deck effect to try and look for a Prism. Unfortunately don't get it, so Marriott will be unfortunately called out here. However, she does get to soul charge 1 anyway, so it's not that bad. It's not too bad of a loss here. Either way I still get a free unit, and the Volsh can still proc. So I soul charge 1, soul charge clean, soul blast 1 here for Volsh Power to go to the bottom of the deck, and I get to draw 1. If I'm not wrong, I drew into a Prism unit there, so it's not too bad as well. And just as I mentioned, I want to give the Petronil so that I can free her and just use her ability, because her ability is not triggered when called from hand. So that allows me to just use her ability, because the other Prism units do not have that effect. The other Prism units require you to call from hand in order to gain like the power boost, and here I break through the defensive by checking a crit, which is like a little bit cringe if I do say so myself. That's kind of feels bad moment, but he will be able to make use of that CB, so it's kind of okay for him, as we know he has 2 LIFOs right now, so if he really wants to, he can use all, but we'll see what he opts to do here. Starts off, takes my right line as well as the Petronil again, counterblast 1 for the LIFO to check top 5 and call something. I think he gets to call his horse here. Oh, I didn't know he had 2 PGs there, but yeah, he gets the horse scroll here, which is really good obviously, because now whenever I free the Petronil, he gets the soul blast 1, definitely an ideal target to have there. And yeah, let's see what else he gets here. He gets the Restander Girl, forcing 1 card. So since I soul charged the Eureka earlier, I soul blasted out the Eureka, and now the Eureka goes into rotation. So that is just a small thing that I thought was like pretty good as well. So here he's not gonna overcommit, so just swinging for the triple drive plus the boost here. So just a 2 attack turn. However, the triple drive may be a bit scary here. Here I hesitate to guard, because like I don't want to risk going to the coming turn without a single piece of counterblast, because he can damage deny me here. He checks the crit anyway, so now I can just guard this, and we're quite safe here, going 3-3. Going second as Prism is not the end of the world, because it allows me to use my Labrador's ability to gain crit as well as 5k to my front row. I discard Petronil because I already have one in rotation. I get to call a Prism here and draw one. That's the effect of the grade 2, so that's pretty good actually. And because Lete is called from hand, she gets power as well. I guess the power doesn't matter here, it's because I'm going to bounce her back anyways and instantly go for the counter charge as well as the soul charge here, which allows me to plus 5k to the Vanguard. And then because of that counter charge, I have a bit more space here to call stuff out from prison. And because I did call something out from prison, he can Soul Blast with the Horse Skull to draw 1. So here I'm just going to dig for a few pieces here. Since he's grade 3, my Eureka will in fact plus 5k as well. So we're just going to like gain a lot of hand here and try to look for stuff to attack him with, because he's just on 3 and my Vanguard will swing for 2 crit, so it is a possible kill turn if his hand is very bricky. So here Telltale and later will come out, so that's a bunch of power. I don't think this formation is ideal. I wouldn't say that I was like very rehearsed with the deck prior to this, so a few mistakes in terms of formation, and you're gonna see a very huge mistake later. Yeah, not the best. So this is gonna be 23k because of the Eureka boost here. Definitely needed. Oh, he wanted a guard with the Blitz Order, but then realizes that there's nothing in prison. I mean, there is one card in prison, so it's not gonna be enough. So I'll sort of 15k guard. Petronil will bounce back to my hand, and that's gonna be a 28k because both of, so it's 18 plus 5 here. So now I ask him if he wants to guard 20, he will opt to guard. Intercepting the restander was like quite huge. So I soul charge here as well, soul charge blank, which is great here. So now I can, on swing here, call up the 2 prisms to empty rearguard circles here. So I opt to call both the front row, which is kind of risky actually. This is not actually ideal. So this will be 23k crit 2, and then I'm swinging with like what, 18 and 20, but because of that front trigger, that is actually pretty good. So now this is 28 and 30, meaning that even if he gets a defensive here, we're still in the clear. So that'll be 28 and 30 coming in. He opts to take both damage, and this is where one of my major mistakes will take place here. I should not have soul charge here. The soul blast to bounce is correct here because I want to have as much shield value as possible, but the reason why that soul charge was bad is because I clearly already had Persona right in hand, meaning that soul shouldn't have been an issue. So because I soul charge here, and I immediately realized it like immediately afterwards, is I'm giving him 1 card from my soul to the prison, which will be hit off the Pure Light here, which is gonna be allowing him to hit a threshold 1 card earlier. And if you are gonna take a look at this turn that he's about to execute, that 1 card basically mattered in him hitting the 10 power spike. So I could have accidentally thrown the game here just because of that play. So that's something that I should take note. I'm just arranging the cards here properly for him here. Allocating, telling him where all these cards came from, which is from soul, which is from drop, which is from hand, which is from rear. As you can see, I'm still trying very hard not to give him any of the prism cards in my hand because those are 10k shield because of the effect. So I'm just giving him my Yuikas, my Petronils, because these are the cards that, like, when I free from Prism, can do something. Honestly, this matchup was really fun. It's quite playable for both sides, and it's kind of cool, no? Prism versus Prism. Very hard to pronounce. My hand here looks huge, but he is gonna nuke all of it. I didn't actually think that he was really going for the kill turn, but he really was going for the kill turn this one. Well, nothing but respect to Isaac. He saw an angle and he will go for it. So now he'll ask 1 card from hand, and then I get to draw 1 here. So I'm like thinking what I want to give him, because I don't want to give him Prism. So I give him another Petronil, and that is hilarious, right? So this he'll take from drop here. So I'll give him Volsh, basically giving him an assortment of like my girls here. Anything that's not in the rotation already, I'll just give. And now he's gonna take 2 more cards from the drop zone here. In the end, I will give him 1 trigger because I wanted, because I do have a cat, so I didn't want to give him my right line. Basically, that was the reasoning. So here our EB3 of the Cycler. I was on 9, so could have been bad if I EB7 there. So that'll be 3-8 to counter the 3-5, I think. And then this is once again gonna be 3-5. So I need once again 3-8. Everything is crit 2 on his board right now. So I'm thinking here that like his numbers are only gonna get higher because when they restand, they get like plus 10k. So using every last bit of like smaller shield, I'm just gonna opt to like guard early, because that means I can take like one of the crit 2 attacks here. That's bigger. I'm gonna PG the Vanguard as well. So here I'm like thinking, okay, if he does not check 2 crits, I'm like fine. So here he checks a front instead, meaning that I only need to guard one of them. And if I'm not wrong, both of the numbers are like the same right now. So that was 3-5, 4-5, 5-5. So 5-5 plus 13. So both are 6-8, which is kind of insane. So here the obvious choice here is just take the first hit, and then if there's a defensive, it helps for the second one. So the problem here is I hit nothing, right? So the question now here is I need to go up to 7-3, but how do I go up to 7-3 and still have a turn for the next turn? Because yeah, that's why you see me like really thinking about it, because he checked a PG and a front and the Blitz order as well. That's 3 cards. There's quite hefty amounts of shield. So I'm like trying to think here, like how do I guard this? Because how much am I willing to give him in order to have a turn again? That is the question. I'm checking the drop zone here, checking for the shield, how much I can give. So this will be 3-3. Then this will bring me to... This is 4-3, this is 5-3. That's a bunch of prisms that I'm gonna give him. Sacrificing 2 prism pieces here was very sad for me. This will be 6-8, so that's matching now. That'll be 7-8. So I sacrifice a lot of prisms here in order to make it to my turn. So here we're gonna go to 9, and then Persona Right will draw me 1 here. And now I'm trying to go for my kill turn here, because I recognize here that like there's really no next turn. So what can I do here in order to make a formation that can sort of destroy him? Because now I have no Celtics in hand. I'm very sure I have no Celtics. So it's like I'm gonna Soul Blast 1 to free from the prison here. So I free the Petronil and allow him to draw 2, which is also kind of bad. So here I declare that there's nothing. And because that I declare that there's nothing, I get a Soul Charge 2 here. So there'll be a heal and a Volsh here. I will Soul Blast again. And this Soul Blast, I'm like, oh, before I Soul Blast, I guess I'll just think a bit more about like what I can call here. Okay, so here's the thing. Because I gave him Later, and Later is currently in my prison, Later is like my only counter charge here, which I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do here. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna give him I'm gonna take the Later, right? Do I take the Later? Come on, take the Later. Yeah. So I take the Later here, and because I have the Later, I'm just telling him that it doesn't get the power. So it's currently, I call the Nebirona here, which honestly I should have called beforehand, but it's kind of fine. So I'll Soul Blast 1 here and bounce the Latte back to hand. So I'll Soul Charge 1 and CC 1, which allows me to basically call out some more stuff. So that CB1 will allow me to call out 2 more units here. So I'll call the Eureka as well as the Petronil. And then I still have like the Latte in hand, right? So now the situation is, since I'm on Persona, both the Petronils in the front row can swing for like 10k guard each. And then I currently have a Later in hand, which is a Prism. So that means I'm able to get an attack because the Petronils are bounced to hand. So basically I have successfully achieved a 5 attack setup. And I have 1 CB open, so that will be for the Labrador cost here. I Soul Blast 1 here just to like get my right line out. Here this is just for extra booster, and it's also to reduce like how much shield value he has from the Blitz order. So that is like my plan here. My Yuka is currently not online in terms of power because I got it late, but I figured, okay, I'm going to like gain the 5k anyways from like the extra attacks. So I'm just asking 10k guard, 10k guard. So this will bounce a hand, and then this is once again gonna be a 10k guard. He will take another trigger. So now we will counterblast here. And then I call 2 prisms from hand. So that'll be Lete and another Labrador. So because I call 2, I draw 1, plus 5k front row, plus 1 crit. So this will be 3-3-4-1 crit 2, which is pretty good. This is a decent number actually, 41 crit 2. So here you also Blitz Order here to gain as much shield as possible. This will be 3-8 versus my 4-1, so it's still not enough. He's verifying that it is in fact twin drive, so this will be 5-3 versus my 4-1, so this is 2 pass right now. So first will be the Celtic, and next will be the over trigger. So because of that over trigger, my rear guards will plus 10. 100 mil goes to Vanguard, and he will eat 2 here. So because he eats 2 here, this will be the heal trigger for 6, and the 7 damage will not be, so that will be game. Yeah.